Hey, this is Antonio. Welcome back to my channel. Let's have some fighting words. In this video, I want to talk about Terence Crawford. I want to talk about his move to the PBC. Hopefully it is true. Hopefully it is not just rumors. Hopefully it is an actual physical contract and we can get this ball rolling. We can get this show on the road. There's a lot of business that needs to be taken care of at 147 pounds that can only truly be taken care of in the PBC. Can only truly be taken care of over at Showtime. That's where all the beef is. That's where all the animosity is. That's where all the hatred is. And that's where all the down talking is. But before we go any further, I just want to tell you, if you like what you're hearing, please subscribe to my channel. Please like my videos. Please share these videos with other like-minded boxing enthusiasts and people who just like the sport of boxing. And also, please subscribe to my channel. I've been saying lately, there's a lot of things that I'd like to do. There's a lot more content that I'd like to bring forth. And there's a lot more things that I would like to talk about. Unfortunately, I got to do what kind of moves the needle sometimes. But there's a lot of things that I would like to do. And a lot of boxers and up-and-coming boxers that I would love to showcase and spotlight and speak about. But moving forward, let's get back to this video. So why would Terence Crawford want to go to the PBC? Well, the obvious would be he could unify. He could be undisputed if he were to go over there. That's one of the perks of going over there. Another one would be, you know what? All my enemies are over there. All the people who talk down about me throughout the years have been saying negative things are over there. And that's another great reason why he should go over there. Because the reality is, Terence Crawford, I don't feel like he's ever truly going to get his just deserves. And every time I look at Terence Crawford, the only thing that pops in my mind is Marvelous Marvin Hagler. How he felt like, the sport of boxing never truly appreciated what he brought to the ring. And I don't want that to be the story for Terence Crawford. Just simply because, he was the odd man out. Or he didn't follow the in crowd, and he chose to walk his own path. I don't want that to be his tale. It does look like it from time to time. It has looked like it, for some time, that he's the odd man out. And, people either talk down on his name or they totally, completely disregard him, as being something that they don't feel he is. You're not as great as you think you are. You're not pound for pound. You're not this, you're not that. And a move to the PBC, to Showtime, well, what that would do for Terence Crawford is answer all those questions. A lot of questions need to be answered on opposing sides with Terence Crawford, but also the people who say these things, other fighters. And the only way to truly answer those questions is if he were to move to the PBC, if he were to go to Showtime. Because it's clear they're not going to be coming to him. So that's the only way it's going to happen. Now, that being said, I mentioned enemies earlier. A lot of people talk down on Terence Crawford. And he's just one of those guys who just doesn't get his just deserves. Or they'll semi give it to him like, well, he did this at 140. Yeah, he did that at 140, but he's also beat some names at 147 pounds. And, he's also stopped some people in a pretty impressive fashion. I'm sorry, I'm still gloating over his Shawn Porter win. That was impressive. Many people have fought Shawn Porter, but nobody, and I do mean nobody, has manhandled Shawn Porter the way that Terence Crawford did. Nobody has outthought Shawn Porter the way Terence Crawford did. Nobody has shut Shawn Porter down the way Terence Crawford did. Because Shawn Porter does have a gas tank now, or an engine. Now, I know a lot of people are going to say, well, Shawn Porter wasn't in the fight, and, in training camp, his dad knew. Well, listen, Terence Crawford did not know that. Say whatever they like. Terence Crawford didn't know that. And you can say whatever you like again, because once Shawn Porter is actually in the fight, I seriously doubt just because he didn't want to run a few extra miles or he didn't want to do a few extra drills that he's just going to allow another man to punch him in the face. That would be stupid, and I don't believe he would. So I think just naturally his natural fighting instinct and his natural instinct to survive and to stay alive and preserve himself, he would fight back. And he tried. Unfortunately, once again, he got shut down. So let's stop with that argument, because a few extra miles of running isn't gonna, I'm sorry, not to mention somebody who's always in shape like Sean Porter. So that doesn't really fly that much with me. If it were, listen, if you're gonna make that argument, it'd be one thing if it were like an Adrian Broner, somebody who wouldn't run at all, and then if he doesn't run a certain amount of miles, then yeah, it could affect him in the fight. Or if he doesn't do a certain amount of drills or a certain amount of sparring, yeah, that could affect him, because we all know what his nightlife is like. We all know what his life is like from time to time. So yes, I can see how that could affect him. But somebody who lives relatively clean, like Sean Porter, who's always training around year round, like Sean Porter, I'm sorry, that argument doesn't fly, and it doesn't go very far with me. So I'm still going to give Terence Bud Crawford every bit of ounce of respect for what he did in that fight with Sean Porter. So that's that. Now, I mentioned undisputed. Listen, he was undisputed at 140 pounds. He could do it again. I think he has the brains. I think he has the smarts. And people can say whatever they want, but he just keeps proving people wrong. If you recall, remember when he fought Jeff Horn? They were like, oh, Jeff Horn's going to be too big for him, going to be too strong for him. Well, within seconds into that fight, it was very clear that he wasn't too big, nor was he too strong. And you've seen what Jeff Horn was doing with little Manny Pacquiao. Now, granted, Manny Pacquiao is not the biggest guy in the world. Manny Pacquiao is really just a blown-up 135-pounder, at his core. But still, nonetheless, Terence Crawford manhandled Jeff Horn. He outboxed him, and then when Jeff Horn wanted to roughhouse, he out-wrestled him. He out-grappled him. So I no longer look at Terence Crawford and be like, oh, he's just a 140-pounder, or he's going to be too small for this person. I don't say that anymore. I had that worry with Jeff Horn, and that fear has long gone. So that's that. But he could potentially get the winner of Spence. Not potentially, because if he were to move to the PBC, it's the only thing that makes sense. If Ugas and Spence, they fight, and whoever the winner may be, I'm not calling any winners or losers right now, but whoever the winner may be, well, then fine. Who's the other guy with the belt? That guy over there. By the way, that guy who happens to be with our promotion, and it's not going to be hard to make a deal with. Perfect. So there you go. That's another reason. And once again, all the talk will be over. I think he is in his prime. I think he's probably got another 1-2 years of solid prime. And, Earl Spence, I don't know if he's in it. Like, the thing with him is, all the things that have plagued him, because it has plagued him in his prime. I don't know what he'll grow into. I know he's doing well right now, and I know he's looking great right now. But I don't know how long-term affects what some of the things are going to do to his body. I really don't know. So once again, we need to have this fight. We need to have this fight now. Also, I don't want to disregard Ugas. Ugas could win this fight. Ugas has shown that he's fighting for more than just a belt. And, he's more of a politician as of lately than anything else. So there you go with that. And I would also say put some respect on Terence Crawford's name. If Terence Crawford were to go to the PBC, they could stop with that talk of he's afraid. They could stop with the talk of, he doesn't really want the hard fights. He's taking on easier fights. Well, they could stop with all that. And honestly, the minute he fought Sean Porter, they had no right to ever say that again anyway. But they can't say anything like that anymore, because it shows I'm the one who's seeking you. You are not seeking me. I've been seeking you. I have sought you out this whole entire time, and you have not sought me out. You stayed comfortably in your promotion, and you've gloated that I'm the cash cow, and I'm this, and we're making more money. Well, now I'm over here with you. Now what are you going to do? I continue to take steps towards you, and now what are you going to do in return? Because now if Terence Crawford comes over to the PBC, if Terence Crawford comes over to Showtime, it's going to make the fans look a little differently at the opposing side and be like, hey, listen, the dude crossed the street, as they've been saying for a few years now. Well, now what are you going to do? Because he crossed the street. Now what are you going to do? The ball's in your court. What are you going to do? So those are my reasons. I honestly think, one, just put some respect on his name. Two, he could possibly, be undisputed. And then three, you can handle all the people who've said negative things about you in the past. Get your get back. You know me, I'm all about the get back. Get your get back. Like, I got no issues with that. But those are my thoughts. I want to hear what you have to say. Drop your comments down below. And as always, please like, please share, and please subscribe to my channel.